So let's move on to the next task of managing conflicts. Mr. Ayo, do you mind reading this list of enablers to us?
Okay, enablers interpret the source and stage of the conflict,
Okay.
analyze the context for the conflict, evaluate, recommend, reconcile, and track effectiveness,
Okay.
identify the root cause of the misunderstanding, investigate potential misunderstandings.
Interesting. Interesting. Oh yeah, please quickly walk us through each of these items one by one and tell us how they are related to managing conflict.
And to interpret the source and stage of the conflict would mean that you need to identify, first of all, um, how the conflict started and what level has it gotten to. So if you know that, you know where to start from in terms of resolving it. And then you analyze the context. What is the reason the conflict is happening, and what exactly is maybe it's between a group. What exactly is one group asking of the other, or what exactly is wanting from one group. So then evaluate, recommend, reconcile, and track effectiveness. As to give to assess what can be a solution to reconcile maybe the groups involved in the conflict or the team members involved in the conflict, and see how effective whatever you recommended as a solution would be. Then identify root cause. Okay, as we said earlier, I think they are not arranged in
Yes, correct.
uh, so identify root cause of the misunderstanding has to be done. I think that would be like it should be it should probably be the first thing. So
Probably be.
I say it should probably be the first thing on the list.
Okay.
Just my thought
Okay.
though. But
Okay.
because you have to know the root cause of what you're dealing with before you start dealing with it. Then investigate
Okay.
potential misunderstandings. I really am not able to marry the potential misunderstandings with resolving the current conflict.
Hmm. Hmm. Ah, and it's clear, oh, Mr. Ayo. Hmm. Hmm. The word potential already gives you all the idea you need. Mr. Ayo, you want to try again? The word potential there, what does
Can,
it mean?
yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm thinking maybe after getting a resolution, maybe we need to investigate if there would be any other thing that could lead to future conflict and take care of that. Is that it?
Hmm. 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 Yes, correct. Exactly. So this is a very important concept for us as project managers. It means that you are not only trying to look out for conflicts that have happened. As part of managing conflicts, you are still trying to proactively look into potential sources of conflict and then acting right on them. So all of those first four enablers, you are using them for conflict that has happened, and you're also using them for potential conflicts that has not happened. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Ayo. So here are the tools and your deliverables. You can see quite a number of interesting tools here. Conflict management theory, change management theory, conflict management models, conflict resolution strategies, emotional intelligence, active listening, empathy. These are interesting areas. Okay, let's just proceed. So what is the role of the project manager in all of this mix? What is the role of the project manager in all of this mix? Managing conflict is a responsibility of all stakeholders. The project manager heavily influences the direction and handling of conflicts. Of course, please note, managing conflict is the responsibility of all stakeholders. That is a very important point that you can make the mistake of missing by the time you are asked in the exam. Managing conflicts is the role of everybody. Everybody plays a role when it comes to managing conflicts, all stakeholders. But as much as everybody plays that role, if the question includes the word primary, then you're talking of a project manager. But if it doesn't include primarily, if it is more generic, then you are talking more of, the generic responsibility of everybody in getting this done. Okay? So interpersonal and team skills help to ensure positive results when handling conflicts. Yes. In agile projects, the project manager facilitates conflict resolution while the team is empowered to resolve conflicts. Mr. Gbolahan, what do you pick out of point number 4?
The part of what the job of a servant leader is to remove impediments. We had earlier alluded to this when we were talking about the servant leader.
Exactly. Yes. Beautiful. And that is one very important thing that separates the Scrum Master in Agile from project manager in traditional project management. Traditional project management, the project manager is a boss. Is a boss. But in Agile, the Scrum Master is a servant leader. Is not much of a boss. In fact, if you see the very coarse Agile people, they detest to regard their Scrum Masters as boss. They detest it strongly. Strongly. So, let's proceed. So, causes of conflict, competition, differences in objectives, differences in values, differences in perception, disagreement about rule, requirements, work activities, and individual approaches, communication breakdown. All of these things are potential causes of conflict. So, conflict management. This is talking about the application of one or more conflict management strategies to deal with disagreements. Effective conflict management leads to improved understanding. Effective conflict management leads to improved performance, and it leads to improved productivity. Of course, conflict is an impediment. Conflict is a major issue that can block success for you. And that is the reason why you as a project manager should strive to always manage issues, especially when they could just get out of hand and blow up. Okay? Ineffective conflict management leads to destructive behavior, animosity, poor performance, reduced productivity. Yes. Use various conflict resolution methods. Okay. Mr. Abdul Malik, can you kindly explain to us how ineffective conflict management can lead to animosity? Quickly, please.
Sorry, I didn't get the question well.
Can you explain to us how ineffective conflict management can lead to animosity.
Okay. So I think for whatever reason a conflict occurs, if it is not properly resolved so that the individuals can get get over their differences or meet at a middle point, as the case may be, there is just it's like there is an unfinished business there, and it would escalate to bigger things when other things come up. So I think an example would be if, let's say, a plumber and an electrician, no, a plumber and a mason had issues as regards who is supposed to. So when plumbers want to fix their pipe in the wall, they'll break the walls. In some cases, they have to do some breaking of blocks to fix their pipe. Then they are supposed to fill it back with mortar. So in scenarios where the plumber does not fill it back with mortar, and it's like it's the responsibility of the more consumptive, and the problem is not resolved, and the rule is not assigned to one person or the other, as the case may be, the
Okay.
conflict will keep on happening because there will be other points in time where the same thing again, and then the same issue will come up to escalate or it will spoil the world.
Okay.
If that example was good enough, sure, but if I'm
Yes, yes,
managing,
very, 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 very solid. Very solid. Very solid. Very solid. Very solid. Very solid. Thank you very much. Very solid. Okay. Change theory. Ah, this is interesting. Well, change management theory. This one, because of time, cannot read through all of them. But they are all interesting things. Those of us who have done MPE or doing MPE, you know some of all these theories. So they're interesting things that we should try to being able to manage change. It's like comparing somebody who can manage change and somebody who can't manage change. It's like somebody who has lao lao and somebody who has pele pele. I don't know if you understand. Mr. Ayo, do you understand what I just said? Ah, Tayo, don't sleep. Okay. Anyway, the most important point is the more models we have in our head of how to actually manage change, the better for us practically on the field when we have to manage change. So, change management theory refers to useful organizational change management models. For example, you have the McKinsey 7S model or the quarters theory. Managing change in a project and organization requires different strategies depending on the circumstance, the context, depending on the people involved, and also depending on the timing. You see the reason why you should have access to multiple models, because some of them might be effective in some particular context and not maybe usable in another context. So it is important to have a robust theory and approach to change management to support the business goals and needs. Embracing change as a strategy helps organizations balance investment and risk, be more flexible, and ensure maximum return on investment. Change management is an essential capability and a significant professional practice in its own right. Hmm. 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 Correct. Okay. Okay. So who would walk us through this change management approaches? Aha. We have Mr. Tusi in class now. Welcome. Who would you walk us through? Okay, Mr. Abdul Malik, walk us through this. Mr. Abdul Malik. Can anybody hear me? It's like I'm the only one here, right? Is anybody in class? Who is in class? Mr. Bolahon, are you in class?
Yes,
Okay. Seems like
My network just came back.
I'm also in class.
Hey. Mr. Abdul Malik,
Network kò follow.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Abdul Malik, walk us through now quickly. Okay, since Mr. Abdul Malik seems to be off, Mr. Ayo, please step in and walk us through quickly, please.
Conflict management approaches: withdraw, avoid, retreat from conflict situation. Please, can you excuse me? My eye is not very clear. I used an ointment.
Hey,
Sorry, please.
Mr. Your eye is doing loud. Sorry.
I think I'm struggling to read it, yeah.
Okay. No wahala. Don't let me stress. You are the one that said I should proceed and give you work. So don't blame me. So who can help us now? Mr. Dollar, can you help us? Mr.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, okay, you are back. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So I'm supposed to read this, right?
You're supposed to walk us through
conflict management. Okay. So the first one is withdrawal / avoid. Retreat from the conflict situation and postpone the issue. Okay, so I think this scenario is when a conflict is getting out of hand and temper is about to start flaring. So you can just withdraw, retreat. Okay, don't worry, we'll handle this tomorrow by this time, so that everybody's temper can be so that everybody's tempers can be cooled down first before we address the issue, so as not to create a bigger problem. Then second one is smooth / accommodate. Emphasize areas of agreement, concede position to maintain harmony and relationships. Okay, so this is a scenario where the conflict is something that is maybe a case of how we should go about a particular task, and then we can just logically go through the person the superior argument, and then one person is going to have to concede their position based on superior argument. I think that one is usually simple and straightforward when you are dealing with team members that don't have, like you said, gra. So compromise / reconcile. Search for a solution that brings some degree of satisfaction to everyone. Temporarily or partially resolve the conflict through compromise. Temporarily. This one's a little bit similar to that smooth, but in this case, you just have to compromise. One person is going to have to compromise for the other person. In this case, there's no clear-cut superior argument, I guess, and you just have to let sleeping dogs lie so that we can move on. You allow one, you pick one of the two temporarily just to resolve the conflicts at hand. I think can I think of an example of this? No. The next one is force / direct. Pursue your viewpoints at the expense of others, offer only win/lose solutions. Offer only win/. Okay, in this scenario, maybe the project manager has decided on what he wants to do, and now he's just basically giving a reason why he wants to do it. So the viewpoint is going to be coming from he's just trying to explain his position and why he wants to do it, not necessarily trying to concede his position. So I want this to be done this way because of this, and this. Hmm? If we don't do it this way, this is what we stand to lose, and this is what we stand to gain if we do it this way. And tell everybody that this is the way we are doing it.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I think collaborate/problem solve. Okay, so in this case, we you say this is a conflict. Okay, in this case, we try to find a way to merge every. Okay, wait, let me see. Collaborate and problem solve. We have incorporate multiple point of views, multiple viewpoints, enable cooperative attitudes and open dialogue to reach consensus and commitment. So in this scenario, I think there is a problem that we want to solve, and there are so many ideas on the table, and then you can pick the good point of view from everybody's idea or from a couple of people's ideas so as to harmonize. So let's say we want to go to the project is for us to move some load to Ibadan from Abuja, and some people want us to take. Somebody wants us to take plane. Somebody wants us to take road. Somebody wants us to take rail. Then somebody else wants us to package it like this. Somebody else wants us to package it like this. Somebody else wants us to package it like this. So we can say, okay, since it is glass, we want to move from Abuja to uh, Ibadan. It's going to be quite expensive to go through flight. However, since you say we should pack it this particular way so that the gas will not break, we'll pack it this particular way that you have said, and then we'll use the vehicle that Mr. B has said, that kind of scenario, so that we
Hmm.
can now have a solution from taking from everybody's idea some nitty bits and all that. So I think that way everybody feels like they were included in the solution of the problem.
Thank
So
you. Thank you. Thank you
I
very much.
think
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we've come across Think Chatter numerous times already. So it's just more of like, I think the last time we saw Think Chatter, where was that? Was the other build a team that we said is similar to
yes,
that
I think
concept?
so.
Yes, that concept of like a WhatsApp group. You know, when you join a group, they give you some set of instructions in this group. Don't do this, don't do this, you
So
do this.
now,
This is acceptable here. This is not acceptable here. That kind of thing. So it's a document that records the team values, agreements, and operating guidelines, as well as establishing clear expectations regarding acceptable behavior by project team members. All right, so that ends that process.